Good morning, Vietnam. Great movie, and I also feel like that's currently where I live. How's everyone doing today? Gonna give people a second to get in here. I got some updates for you, and I'm also gonna be covering we're gonna be covering one video, and then we're going to talk about how another video wraps into this. Serious problem. Now, I've covered several videos. In fact, a police officer that I dealt with in Springfield, Massachusetts, and the Springfield, Massachusetts police officer is the constitutional go-to. So in the video, the lieutenant is trying to say that this police officer can definitely arrest me for filming in public, and he defers to her knowledge because she's the constitutional go-to. We did some digging into her, realizing that she strip searched somebody on the side of the road, and they approximated that at least 100 cars had passed by in each direction, watching this woman get strip searched by a female police officer on the side of the road. Obviously, cops have no idea what the Fourth Amendment to the United States Constitution is. They can definitely recite to you how quickly their feelings can get hurt. Today's video is fantastic. It's from a retired police officer. His name is Sergeant Curtis. And you guys know I'm not one for cops, but I've been watching some of this guy's videos, and they're pretty darn good. Robert Brewer, what's up, man? So I want to jump right into it. Long story short, I want you to watch this video with an open mind and understand that a guy like this is in a neighborhood near you. Not just because there's lots of cops like him, but because after basically fondling somebody, I mean, I don't know why he didn't take him to a movie first, but he's still very gainfully employed. Let's jump into this first video. It's from someone named Sergeant Curtis. Well, he's the one covering the video. And I like how he sums it up, but put a 1 in the chat if you've seen this video. Put a 2 in the chat if you've not heard or seen this video. Where my rest of Vietnam at? All right, so some of you have, most of you haven't. Let's jump right into it. This is Sergeant Curtis. I really don't care much about him as I do the story, but he did a good job covering it. And I do find, as far as police go, he doesn't try and find excuse for cops. It seems like he does critique them very harshly. Let's jump in.
Take a subject into custody. September 9th, 2022. Jacksonville officers are conducting a narcotics investigation. They take a subject into custody by the name of Ronnie Reed. They do an initial search on Reed and find nothing. And then they decide to level up the search.
Y'all can't do, bro. Ain't supposed to do. Huh? Man, he took my clothes off. You took your clothes off? You took your clothes. No, not like that, bro. Not like that, man. That's weird, man.
So it starts off innocent enough. I don't know how innocent it can start off with. So just so everyone knows, when you consent to a search, you can't even consent to this type of search. This is not only considered a strip search, this is considered a cavity search. On the street, people walking by, this cop wanted a date, and he wanted a date with Ronnie Reed.
Not like that.
I went to search and draws, you started jumping up and down.
No, I told you can take me in the back and you can cuff my nuts.
You can
If
take,
you wanted to.
I don't want to cuff you. You want to take in the back?
Man, ease up, man. Don't do that.
Let's loosen up the pants here. And
They already loosened, bro. The belt, unbuckling, all that shit, man. Okay.
So everyone at home, it's time for you guys to let me know where you're at, what your knowledge level is. Ladies and gentlemen, please let me know in the chat, what is a cursory search? Because that is what police are allowed to do. They're allowed to conduct a cursory search. Who is the lucky winner that can tell me what a cursory search is? This cop is a jerker offer. Cue the audit. There you go. Automated pocket pool. Yes. So Dubs, correct. Outer close, back of the hand, pat down. Yeah, you got it. So what they're allowed to do for officer BS safety and for community safety, they're allowed to give a quick pat down. They are not allowed to go into your pockets, into your pants. They are just allowed to do a quick check to see if you have anything you shouldn't have on. Thank you very much. I'm going to go over the super chats at the end, but thank you. So anything beyond a cursory search where they're going into your pockets, they're going through your wallet, they're opening up your pants, they need your consent or they need a search warrant. If you give no consent and they don't have a search warrant, they pound sand. Let's say you're Ronnie Reed in this situation and the cop can't wait to get his hand on your meat because this cop loves man meat, which is fine. It's 2025. Let's call it what it is with this officer. Even at that point, if you give consent, police cannot do this. Okay, they have to be in a closed, controlled environment, a jail cell, the police station, a hospital. There has to be a witness present. And at that point, the court still needs to allow the parameters of the search, even though the person's consented, to make sure it's constitutional. But roadside jerk off, not legal. But this is a decorated field training officer. Enjoy it.
Well, okay. I don't want her to look at your genitals. Let's go over here. All right. Light, somebody?
Hi, man.
Somebody got light? Come on. All right, man. Nothing's going to go inside of you, all right? But we have to make sure you don't have anything else.
I've been on many of.
So this cop's idea of a legal search is nothing's going to go inside of you, okay? Imagine if a cop under Pennsylvania v. Mims, precedents allowing police officers to ask you to exit the vehicle, says to you, all right, step out, going to do a quick search, but nothing's going to go inside of you. First of all, okay, depends how long a day you've had. You just might be down for something to be inside of you. I know this cop's real excited about it, but that is a real bad start. When we fast forward to the end of this video and we get to him being interviewed by Internal Affairs, he explains that he did not know, nor was he taught, that it was illegal to disrobe, unclothe a man in public, surrounded by many people, and then touch, fondle, look through, search, and expose his genitals. He didn't know that wasn't a pat down. There's another word for it, but that's on a totally different media site, okay? One that I can't endorse here.
These types of operations and searches. As you're seeing this, you see a somewhat jovial exchange between the subject, Mr. Reed, in custody, and the officers. How seizures? So from the sergeant perspective, what I'm seeing here is we have to be very, very careful that we don't cross over that line.
Don't stop doing that.
You gonna lean on my car?
Lean forward. No, man, come on.
See,
man.
this is nope. Stop. You're gonna lean forward.
So now, strap in, folks. This cop is going to tell this man to lean over and cough naked. He wants to see if there's anything up inside there. So this cop thinks a legal search is stripping someone down on Main Street with people walking up. You're taking your kid for an ice cream. Some dude's got his cheeks spread. And some real cop that loves his job is like, all right, listen, I ain't going inside, but let me take a look down the chute. This is Anthony Joseph says this cop is overstepping his boundaries. This is so far beyond that. But this is what we're dealing with in America. And it's not the first time. I covered a video, And because of my coverage of this video, this police officer got fired. We're going to come back to this, but I want to show you the next one. When this cop realized that he fudged up. This one's called Cop Cries to Prosecutor After Illegal Search, because I want to show you that it's not a localized incident. This is happening in a city and a town near you.
Roll down the window.
Yes, can I help you?
Officer Norton, Montgomery County Constables, Precinct 5. The reason I pulled you over is your license plate is obscured. I cannot see your license plate.
You're full of crap anyway because it's got my bicycle things on it.
It still can't be covered.
Yes, it's not covered. It is, but that
It's obscured. Don't roll up your window on me.
Oh, watch me.
Okay.
I was in an accident to begin with, so don't threaten me.
I didn't threaten you. I said don't roll.
Don't roll up your window on me. It was an accident to begin with.
Where are you coming from today?
None of your business. Again?
Go ahead and hop out of the vehicle.
No.
Get out of the
I'm not
vehicle.
getting out of the vehicle.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, no, I am not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
8520. Can you send me another unit? I have a occupant that's refusing to get out of the vehicle. Anything you don't need that's gonna poke prod me? Pat you down for officer safety.
No.
Hands on the hood.
That's not a pat down. That is pull my bra.
It is definitely a pat down. We can argue all you want. I don't know why you are being so
Because
defensive.
you are not patting me down. You are feeling up under my bra.
Is that I'm allowed to?
No, you're not.
Okay. So I don't know, traffic stop for obscured license plate. She has like bikes covering her license plate. I can't see the license plate. When I told her that I wasn't able to see the rear license plate, she argued with me and says that it's not obscured. When I asked if there were any weapons in the vehicle, she said that she didn't have to tell me. And I said, well, it's for officer safety. As I'm patting her down, seeing if she stuffed anything anywhere in her bra, she said that I was not doing a pat down, that I was illegally searching her. So I was going to see if that's enough for interference.
Okay, here's where you're at. There are some problems that will make you look terribly bad if you have to defend this case in court.
Okay.
The first one is the statute that I wanted to look at is that bicycles and motorcycle racks attached to a vehicle in normal and customary manner cannot be used as a basis for obstructing a license plate. Now, that's problem number one. Problem number two, it sounds like she has a valid point about the search in saying that you patting her bra is not a pat down, it's a search. So the long and the short of it is, I would not do it. A defense attorney, in my opinion, is going to eat you alive with the other two issues at a trial on that case. I wouldn't take that fight if I were you.
On September 9th. So herein lies the problem. And we see this female cop saying, oh, officer safety. I explained for officer safety. I want to say this in the most respectful and polite way that I can. Fuck your officer safety. We don't pay you to be scared. We pay you to be brave. Citizens are killed at 10 times the number by police than police are by citizens. Last year, fiscal year ending 2024, 66 police officers perished in the line of duty. And that doesn't mean that all of them were at the hands of police. Some had heart attacks. There were other, extenuating circumstances. However, take that number, 2,000 people almost were killed by police. You are literally 10 times more likely to die at the hands of a cop than a cop is to die at the hands of you. Secondarily, places like Massachusetts and all these states where you have concealed carry permits, open carry, concealed carry, where the government tells you when you can carry a firearm. How about this? In the state of Massachusetts, police determine if you get a license to carry a firearm. However, police don't require a license to carry a firearm. They carry on their badge. So someone that's gone through no training and doesn't have a license to carry a firearm tells you if you can. Let me tell you the types of firearm licenses I believe in. Open carry, concealed carry. Sometimes you see it, sometimes you don't. But either way, it's just as dangerous. These cops' concern for their safety is so troubling to me. They govern every life, every decision based on their safety. And believe it or not, folks, I think the places where there's open carry, constitutional carry, you are much less likely to die from an incident with police. Here's why. They're used to seeing guns every day. You go to the 7-Eleven or the Buc-ee's to get your gas tank filled, and you know the girl walking out. I went to a Buc-ee's. Chick had a little pink Taurus strapped to her waist. They're used to it. Guns are a part of every day. In Massachusetts, the place where arguably in the United States of America, the Continental Congress, freedom started in the United States. And I tell people now, the closer you get to where freedom started, the more far away in present day you are from freedom. If a cop, for example, I was driving down the street with MAA audits about 2-3 weeks ago, 50 police cars. I'm not exaggerating. 50 police cars. Was it 30, Fred? Thank God Fred's here. Yeah, so it was just under 2,000 killed by police, 66 killed by citizen. Thank you, Fred. And we saw all these cops. And I see one zooming up and down the street, and I put down the window and I stop, and she was thrilled because she thought I was going to help her do her job. I told her to stop being a fucking retard and to slow the fuck down before she gets some citizen safety. And she, she started crying, and MAA audit really enjoyed it. But 60 police cars responded because there was a call that someone had a firearm. The call itself is interesting, ladies and gentlemen, because of this. No one was saying they were threatened with a firearm. They just said they saw someone walking down the street with a firearm, holstered. I am going to be the 911 operator and say, what's the problem? Try going to Texas, okay? Try going to Louisiana. Try going to Tennessee. Try going to Indiana. Try even going to Maine and call up the sheriffs. I got a guy walking down the street with a gun, not committing any crimes, not threatening anybody, but he's got himself a pew-pew. They're going to be like, so what's the fucking problem? Like, and here's the other thing. If police say you're walking down the street with a firearm in Massachusetts, it's concealed carry. It is not open carry. But say someone sees a bulge or anything. Police aren't even allowed to ask you for your ID because you have to assume someone is carrying lawfully unless you see them committing a crime. So they can't even ask you, can I get your license? Can I get your LTC? They can't ask you any of that. However, in this specific instance, 50 to 60 cruisers flooding the area because a guy has a firearm who's not threatening anybody. The waste of resources I've calculated based on officers' median salary divided by an hourly wage if they're working 5-day shifts, adding in the cost of details per average that each officer gets overall in Lowell. We figured out that this was a $60,000 manhunt. It was a kid riding his bicycle with a BB gun, going to his friend's house to shoot cans in the backyard. A 13-year-old boy had 50 officers with roadblocks aiming AR-15s at him because he wanted to shoot a BB gun. It's a very dangerous fucking society, but I still refuse to keep my hands where I can see them. I'll keep this finger where they can see them. You guys have watched my videos. It is the policy of the United States to never, and I mean never, negotiate with terrorists. So I do not show my hands. I do not keep them where police can see them. I don't open all my windows. In fact, I open 0 of my fucking windows. I do not give ID. And that is why I think I'm safe. That is why I'm protected. Because while I can't carry a firearm anymore, I have just as strong a weapon with my brain and with the way I articulate myself. Some people can't articulate that well. Some people, it doesn't matter how well you articulate, because in certain cases, it doesn't matter what you say or what you do. you're still going to wind up in front of a cop like this who wants to make you a fresh plate of stroganoff that beef.
Forward, bro. You're gonna lean forward.
Do this. Bro, listen, bro. You doing too much.
No, I'm not.
No. You're doing too much.
I just told you nothing was gonna be put inside of you, but you gotta let me look.
You can't bend me over like that, bro. I know my right.
Stop.
I want to play this video, but I can't stop. Does anybody else think that that shouldn't be verbiage used to like make him feel better? I told you nothing was going to go inside you, but you need to bend over and stop. Like, the fact that you're saying you're not going to put anything in me doesn't make this situation better one bit.
He's clenching hard. He's got something up there.
I ain't catching nothing.
Stop. Put him against the car right here. Please stop. That's up in his ass, probably. I mean, he's clenched so hard.
Man, you ain't finna stick your finger in my ass.
No, I'm not. You're right.
Listen, bro.
Yeah, they're gonna do it at the jail.
Okay, cool. Let them do it at the jail, bro, because y'all ain't finna stick your finger.
So wait a minute. Don't worry about it. If we can't reach up in there, they'll finger you at the jail. I sound so ridiculous saying this shit, but this is where we live. Don't worry, we're bending you over on Main Street. There's a kid over there and a woman over there. That guy's buying his kid an ice cream cone. I've just shined a flashlight inside you. I think I might see something. I'll send you to my buddy at the jail and he can finger blast you. What the fuck is going on in the United States right now where this is considered acceptable behavior? I mean, like, and I know why. The police, the government, let's say we have the oppressors and the oppressed. The oppressors oppressed the oppressees, right? There were the people that were on top, and they were putting their boot on the neck of the people below them. To eventually, the oppressed rose up against the oppressors, and they said, shut that shit down. Oppressed no longer. See you later. And that really put a damper in the Brits' day. We don't rise up. I mean, even though the Constitution affords us the legal and lawful ability to rise up, we don't. And when we speak with our words, we get gunned down at a tent by a college. Like, think of that. The government urges us to no longer use violence, but to instead use debate, to articulate, to use speech. And that works for certain people. And then they say, oh, you know what? I can't outspeech you. I can't out-argue. I can't out-common sense you. So let me take your life. This is the state of being right now. Okay? I want you to look at the names of all the people in the chat. Okay, Made in America, JC, Geo, Denicola. We got a lot of people in there. Kentucky Girl, Vivian, Banana Rana. There is, by statistics, if there's 500 people in this chat right now, 5 of you will be killed by police this year. That's insane. 5 of you will be gunned down by cops. And the likelihood is only a quarter of the 5 will ever see a payout for it. So hopefully one of you can be separated into 4 little people and you can divvy up the earnings. But that's what we're looking at for real statistics.
Up my ass, man.
I just told you I wasn't, but you've unclenched your asshole and just let it come out. You can just get the 1 charge now.
They're talking about clenching up his butt while searching his butt. Put yourself in that situation. There's 2 things that could be happening. One is that Mr. E does have drugs there or that he doesn't. Either way, the subject is going to want to clench up their butt. If some grown man who you do not know has you in handcuffs and is telling you to spread open your cheeks on a public street, I know my natural reaction is going to be to clench up. It's so unnatural, which leads us again to where we have to go back. Is this reasonable on a public street for something like possession of a drug? That's the question.
Detective Wright, today's date is July 25th, 2023, and the time is 1:10 p.m. Present for this interview is Detective Joel.
Now, guys, color is going to come into this quite a bit. And I want to give you an example. Okay. I'm not going to say which place it is, but I want to give you a very real example. The best I can to kind of help you understand how this interview is going to go. This is a municipality, okay? A fire department. It's in Massachusetts. And the person leaving this review says, and I'm going to leave out the address because I don't want you to know where it's at. It's a fantastic department. They go into fires. Cops don't run into fires. So I just wanted to leave a review for this department. This morning at blank address, I woke up to a loud sound from the fire pulling station right outside my apartment. I contacted this department. When they came out at 3 o'clock in the morning, one guy was wearing a white shirt with fire something on it, said that it wasn't something they could fix because it was a closed fire station and they didn't have access. They would fix it first thing in the morning and do their best to quell the sound now. Well, this is no way to address a young black woman that just called for assistance. Why does, so first of all, it sounds like from what she was saying, the firefighter she spoke to was very polite, explained he didn't have keys to the building. He would do what he could to quell the sound, and they would get someone out there first thing. He wasn't like, go screw yourself, beat feet. But why is it, how dare you speak that way to a young black woman? You can speak that way to a young white woman or a young Asian woman, but not to a young black woman. That is racism, okay? Racism is not owned by black people. And I hate to be the bearer of bad fucking news. And the chat is probably going to erupt and demand my crucifixion for this. And I'm not diminishing the real awful hate and struggle that Black Americans, African Americans went through. They dealt with it for 300 years. The Jews dealt with it for 5,000. Since the pharaohs, the Jews have been persecuted by everybody with a pulse. Oh yes, screw the Jews. And like, you don't hear like, oh, it's because I'm Jewish, right? No, I don't think racism can affect any and all people. Racism is when one person doesn't like somebody else because of the color of their skin or their ethnicity. We diminish racism when we start saying everything is fucking racism. So, I mean, there's your daily truth dose. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree with me. Put a 2 in the chat if you boldly disagree with me and you're never going to watch this channel again. So I can wave goodbye to you. The numbers are dropping wild now. Yeah, the numbers are dropping. But I don't care because, you know, after what happened to Charlie Kirk, Jimmy Kimmel was taken off the air, and I think he's an asshole anyways. But what I'm realizing is that if someone has free speech that's not agreed with, people arbitrate that is no longer free speech. So I am going to say everything that comes to my mind, and I don't care who the fuck it offends, because I am at the point of most resistance right now. You have people being murdered in cold blood because they open their mouth. I am not going to allow that sacrifice. It's not a sacrifice. A sacrifice is something that you give willingly. I'm not going to allow that theft to go in any more vain than it has been already. I'm going to use my free speech to pay homage to theirs and the fact that they can't anymore. And if you guys don't like it, change the fucking channel. There's a bunch of fake people that you can watch that'll say exactly what you want to hear, that'll probably make more money than I will this month because they're fucking pandering to you. But this isn't the 1P community, the first to fucking pander. This is 1A. I'm one of the first to be here. I'll be one of the last to leave. And if you're one of the people that just left, like 50 of you guys left, then good fucking riddance. Because the real story is some guy that's just strip searching someone on the side of the road. And the reason I talked about race is because this race is going to play a role here. I believe in this circumstance that Mr. Reed was profiled because of he's known to law enforcement, number one. Number two, because of the color of his skin. Now we're going to have a reverse race issue here. Watch the body language of this IA director. She is so disgusted to be sitting down and even having to share the same air as this deputy right here. And as soon as the interview's over, she's going to run out of there. So I'm going to start it from the beginning. I'm not going to interrupt unless it's something serious. Please hit the like button if you like. I am being sued by the constitutionally inept delete laws. And if you guys, I see people JTP, Jackboot Thug Pig, and all that bullshit. There's one Jackboot Thug Pig, and he's suing myself and Lackluster for free speech. So we're defending ourselves against that phony. He's one of the fake ones in my summation. That's my free speech to say so. I believe that. But if you guys want to help, pinned to the top of the chat is a donation link. And we, of course, appreciate it. Always appreciated, never expected. Let's watch this cop. How bad do you have to be where one cop cringes at you?
Bellegarde. The nature of this interview is an allegation of improper action. Detective Bellegarde, this is your sworn statement affidavit. Have you had the opportunity prior to the start of the interview to review the sworn statement affidavit?
Yes.
Do you understand that anything you say during the interview can be used as a basis for discipline against you, but cannot be used against you in a criminal proceeding?
Yes.
These internal affairs investigations are very serious. I've been on both sides. As a sergeant, I would have to interview my officers if there were allegations made against them. I've been on both sides of these investigations for something as minor as a potential discourtesy complaint or something as serious an officer can be investigated for something like a potential illegal search, like we're looking at here. Either way, it's a very, very tense situation because it's officer and officer, which is not a normal situation for an interview of this degree.
How long have you been employed with the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office?
7 years.
On September 9th of last year, 2022, you were involved in a narcotics buy-bust operation.
I've never in real time, and I'm sorry, Joel, love you. Thanks for being here. But this is the only time I've got to see someone and say, you've never wasted your money more fucking hastily. There are people that I believe deserved your money more than him. Just most of them, I can't even take it. I'm sorry you lost $59, but yeah, you enjoy that. Yeah, no, he sued me and Lackluster. Originally, he sued James Freeman, a bunch of other people for free speech. He did some stuff that was fucked up. And actually, he uses the court to attack people. And he knows, he's like, I don't even care if I win. I'll just, keep suing them to make them waste their money. Problem is, that's vexatious litigation. Good old delete laws might not tell you about it, or if he tells you about it, he'll say, oh, the terrible judge, I'm fighting freedom. And he just got ordered to pay someone $15,000, and he sued that person. So good luck to him and the fucking Red Sox this year. But yeah, we've had to pay tens of thousands of dollars to attorneys. Lackluster and I share the same attorney, pay separately to fight against someone who is a constitutionalist, biggest tyrant that I've ever fucking seen. If I ever cover him in a video or talk about him, he's worse. He's the worst cop I've ever covered in my summation. And that's my free speech. Watch me get sued for it. The amendment to the lawsuit will be in 5 minutes.
operation. Do you recall that?
Yes.
At that time, what was your assignment?
We were assisting narcotics. We were assisting with takedowns.
Okay. And during that time, what was your, I guess, permanent assignment with JSO?
At that time, I was assigned to the Zone 1 task force.
Okay. And you said now you're a part of the community response
Yes.
unit. So during that operation, you eventually had made some contact with suspect Ronnie Reed, who was arrested under CCR 22-533445. Do you recall Mr. Reed?
Yes.
How did you become involved with Mr. Reed? I know that you originally were with a different suspect. How did you become involved with the other suspect, Mr. Reed?
Yes. After we finished where we were initially with the initial suspect, we were in contact.
Guys, I don't want to say something online that I might get in trouble from his fearness. So I need someone to help me. And I guess you guys, Leslie. Love Leslie. My question, and maybe you guys can help me and we can do this privately. Can you guys in the chat let me know, is this a safe space? Are we in a safe space here where we can talk privately with one another? Is this a place that I can be safe with my secrets? I'd like to ask the chat. Okay. Michael Reed says it's a yup. We're in a Nick Maiden, we're in a safe space. So no one's going to repeat this because I just have a question. Do you think if this cop was feeling all strip searchy, like, ooh, I'm gonna get somebody today, and Delete Laws walked by. Delete Laws walks by. Who do you think is going to demand the strip search first, him or the cop?
With he was transported over to where we were going to collect everybody at the onset of the scene. And that is where I first came in contact with Mr. Reed.
An interesting point about these internal affairs interviews is that the officer is afforded the opportunity to have representation with them. This officer in this case chose not to have representation, and many times officers don't because they want to go in there and say, I'm just going to tell my story. I don't necessarily believe that I did anything wrong, and I don't need representation. I'm not going to say whether you should have representation or not. A lot of times it's a union member, but it's very interesting that this officer chose not to have anyone represent him during the interview.
Did you know Reed had already been searched before you made contact with him?
I knew at that point, I shouldn't say I know, but I kind of assumed, as we all do, that he had been at least searched for or patted down for weapons. Mm-hmm. As the investigation went on, we realized we hadn't recovered those specific funds, the funds used for the transaction between the initial suspect and Mr. Reed. And so I don't believe who was involved in the conversation, but I remember it was discussed. Well,
So we're gonna get right into it. This cop's about to explain that he didn't know that in a crowded neighborhood with the public out gazing, that it was illegal to take someone's clothes off and shine lights up into their caverns. Before that, I want to explain. Leslie Sylvan's here. She's been around since, well before me. She was leaving comments in comment sections when I was leaving comments in comment sections, and I didn't have my own channel. That is truth, that discourse works and this community works, but it has to work as intended. Like anything else, everything evolves. Okay. Some people will come into the 1-8 community, they'll leave, they'll come back, and I see names that I remember all the time where I haven't seen them in 7, 8 years, 3 years. What's important to remember is that though the names change, okay, though the channels change, the faces change, the cops change, the different arrests change, the mission stays the same. And the mission is to make sure that our fellow Americans are secure in their constitutional liberties. They're secure in their inalienable rights. Some do it for the wrong reasons, and they're just content creators. Some do it like me, of are household names in this community and, you know, have been around for a long time. I'll ebb and flow. I'll have big views, I'll have small views, but I'm not a flash in the pan. Regardless of who it is, we all want to believe in the same principle, which is that behavior like the behavior that this cop is showing is essentially wrong. It is wrong on legal levels, moral levels, humane levels. There is no one that can justify this behavior. And then that brings us to the other community. And I correct myself where I said, no one can justify this type of behavior. And I'm absolutely wrong, because as I am very critical of this behavior, and let's just say it, you know, I think this cop should have the fucking day he deserves. And that's a really bad fucking day. There are also people who have taken to social media to defend this cop. And here's the two biggest excuses. It's a hard job. You don't know what he went through. Why are we taking the bad guy and feeling bad for him? It happens all the time. Isis, the woman whose name is her parents aptly named her. But the woman at the Westfield Town Hall, she called the police on me. She lied to the police. She almost had me killed by police. And the police wanted me to feel bad for her. Well, you kind of scared her with your cameras. People want it. You don't know what he goes through in his job. How about the victim who got his cheeks spread on Main Street? Like, there's actually a community that is protecting, insulating, and making this behavior okay. And that's why I think it's super important to note that we have the better community. Not because you guys are great, like Leslie Sylvan, like she is and you are, but because we can look at something and just know that it's fundamentally wrong. Sometimes I might be fundamentally wrong. Perfect example, I'm glad Leslie's here. Leslie, how many times have you called me out for something I said, something I did? Leslie has never been afraid, nor has my wife been afraid, or my friends been afraid to say, Josh, you missed the cue. We need to fix it. Or Josh, you got that wrong. John Denicola tells me I'm wrong all the fucking time. The thing is that we have the ability to change our opinion. When you go to the other side, the bootlicker side, police can do no wrong, even when they take somebody's life.
Mr. Reed must have the money. It just must be hidden on him somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, so I just believed he hadn't been searched for the funds.
And this was.
And listen to the fucking logic. This cop's like, oh, well, you know, guys, so Ronnie Reed made a drug deal, we think. And when he made the drug deal, and we're not sure he did, but we think he made a drug deal, and we rolled up on him, we didn't find any money. So instead of his wallet, he must have stuck it up his ass. So we went looking for it. That sounds insane. Because it is insane.
A separate, because I know funds were
Yes.
retrieved from
The initial suspect.
the initial
Yeah,
suspect. So
that-
this was a different set
Yes,
of funds.
this was the funds we recovered at the first time were what one of the undercover detectives gave to him just prior to the takedown.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't for the actual deal in which a different detective had observed.
The narcotics purchase occurred, and Reed supposedly had those funds, or it was assumed that Reed
Right.
had those funds. And then I guess another narcotic sale was supposed to happen, but then a takedown signal was given.
Yeah.
So the original suspect still had those funds on him.
Yes, the funds from the first transaction.
Okay. A conversation was had, and the purpose of this search was to figure out where the funds were from the first transaction.
Right. Funds and or narcotics, just
Right.
because Mr. Reed didn't have any narcotics on him when we came in contact with him either.
Okay.
And we, believing he completed a narcotics transaction, we believe he would have had narcotics as well.
For clarity, if I'm sitting in on this interview with the officer, I noticed that there are two different units. There's the narcotics unit, and the other officer that's being interviewed here is part of another unit that was responsible for the takedown. So sometimes in those situations, the communication is not great. But here is the crux of this investigation. Was this a mistake of the head or a mistake of the heart? A mistake of the head is that you messed up because you just didn't know. That doesn't absolve you from being disciplined. Or was it a mistake of the heart? Did I intentionally do a bad search or do this search to humiliate this person because in my heart, I intended to do malice? It doesn't matter in the legal sense, not necessarily, but it gets to the crux of where this officer's mindset was when it occurred.
But you said you don't recall who made the decision.
And like, who am I to fucking judge? And this is the one point I disagree with this cop on, is that it doesn't fucking matter why he did it. He did it, see you later. Send him to the brig. Like, I hope if this guy has children that they're poor and destitute. I hope this cop, this dude likes going searching people, I hope he has to work a corner. I hope he's on an intersection that has 4 corners and he has to work every single fucking one of them. What a piece of shit he is. I care not for why, I care for what happened. I don't care about the fucking explanation. I've been doing this long enough where the explanation doesn't fucking matter. You did it, pay the price, and may the price be heavy and fuck up your whole life.
Decision that he needed to be searched. You just had the understanding that
it needed to happen.
It needed to
happen.
Happen.
That's correct. It was, everybody kind of got together and we were like, well, we haven't found the money. He did the transaction. He must still have it. And I was like, I've made the decision myself. Okay, well, let's search him then.
Mm-hmm. The search that was captured by your body camera, what would you classify that search as?
Going back to what I originally, at that time, in my mind, I believed a strip search was having someone take off their clothing, like completely removing it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have to strap in for this idiocy. I thought a strip search was someone getting naked. Bro, he got naked. The only difference is you took off his clothes for him. And here's the most, he is going to come up with so many excuses as to why he did not know. And you know what the fucking problem is? I believe him. I believe he didn't know because cops are fucking stupid. 95% of them, not all of them. Most of them. I mean, you really, okay, all of them. They're fucking stupid. So it's like, this guy's a field training officer. So he's teaching other cops that it's all right to finger blast people with flashlights and turn someone's seat into a jack-o'-lantern. It's insane. Like, why are we in a position where, and it comes from the top. So let me point out a comment. I gotta show this to you guys. Darren, the name of the channel, okay, is Sergeant Curtis. Okay, let me put it up there big for you. Darren, there you go. Sergeant Curtis. If you want to watch the video without my interruption, go watch the fucking video without my interruption. You're here, so you listen to me talk. And if you don't want, you can go check out the channel, because if you were here in the beginning, I told you where the channel was. So if you don't like the fucking door, slam it behind you on the way out. Peace, bro.
I did not understand that merely manipulating or arranging, as state statute and our orders say, I was not aware that constituted a strip search. At the time, I would not have called it a strip search. Looking back, after looking at orders and state statute, I would call that a strip search.
Here, the officer is clearly saying, had I looked and known the statute, I would have known that what I was doing was a strip search. Again, it doesn't.
So I love this. Cue the audit. You're right. So he's like, I didn't know arranging or rearranging was a strip search. That's a real fancy way for saying I was playing with his junk. You know what I mean? I was like, ugh. Like I was all up in that dude's piece. But it wasn't a strip search. I was rearranging his balls from one side to the other, and then something else fell out. My wife is a fantastic rearranger.
Absolve them, because ignorance is just like in the law. That's not an excuse to not do what you're supposed to do. The other basic standard that we should see is it reasonable to pull the man's pants down and spread his butt cheeks apart in public if you're looking for drugs? Because here's the thing. Every search, initially, you should start off saying, this is potentially could be illegal. But how is it not illegal? Well, there's three very simple ones right off the top. If a person consents to the search, then the search is likely going to be good. The second is if there's probable cause in a search warrant. And if in that case you have a search warrant, then the search, if the judge signs off on it, it's likely going to be good. And here's the third one. It's called exigent circumstances, which means I have a real need and a reason right this second to spread this man's butt cheeks apart, go up in there and get the drugs. It almost gives me chills to think about there's no exigency on that circumstance. Let me give you one where there could be exigency, where you might want to have to pull someone's butt cheeks apart in public. That could be a situation where they have a detonator that's going to blow up a bomb somewhere. And if you don't get it out, the person's going to be able to reach around there and pull it out and blow it up. It's very challenging to figure out the exigency in that circumstance of having to, in the street, go up inside of his butt cheeks to find narcotics or money or whatever other thing that they were looking for.
Can we agree that, or would you agree that you rearranged his clothing?
I did, yes.
But when you did that, the purpose was you said you were looking for narcotics because someone had just sold someone else narcotics. That got to a narcotics detective.
Correct.
And it was believed that he possibly still had narcotics concealed on him.
Correct. And he was, I know one of the other individuals interviewed mentioned, though, it was pretty, and I didn't, as far as I'm aware, I don't have any contact with Mr. Reed before this incident, but it appeared that he was clenching his body. He was holding his muscles tight, and it appeared that, and not holding it in his anus, but holding it in an area where he didn't want us to get, which is why he was trying to hold his legs and buttocks tight. And that's another reason why we believed he had some sort of contraband hidden on his body.
Holding your butt tight when a strange man is pulling your butt, I mean, that to me seems almost the natural response. Also, I've had people, we call it keistering, keister dope in their butt, and they would hide it, but the jail normally are the people that end up recovering that. What I'm seeing the officer's interview here is he doesn't seem like he's attempting to be deceptive. He says that he read the statute and now realizes that it was a strip search. But again, for all of us, the best thing to do is say, under the circumstances, is this reasonable? If
you did locate something, what would have been your next step?
We probably, depending on what it was, we would have asked him to remove it. If it was a narcotic or money, if it was a weapon, which at the time he was a larger man. The purpose wasn't for a weapon, but it was plausible to believe there would have been there. We would have removed that unless it was inside of him at all. We wouldn't remove anything. But we probably would have unhandcuffed him and had him retrieve the property that we could then see.
Watching the body cam, you end up taking him to the other side of the car, but was he visible to anyone that was around?
I don't see how. I know you can hear a female kind of shouting out. I don't know how she, without like climbing on top of a fence or something.
Hey everybody. Whoa. What are you doing, Bubba? I was trying to work, and then you came up here. What are you doing? Oh, okay. Well, would you like to leave now? Pain, Daddy's working. Break. Come. Thank you. Sorry, I just thought that was awesome.
She was. I don't know if you're familiar with Westmont. It is a street, however, it's like a house and then a just fence on the north side. There was a U-Haul truck that was somehow involved in the investigation somewhat. I think there was narcotics located in it, and like 2 more narcotics blockers.
All right, guys. So now what the cop's doing, it's called muddying the waters. The facts are essential, and they're overwhelmingly bad for this cop. We all know what he did. So now what he's trying to dilute the well. He's throwing as much, inconsequential matter not facts into the mix, because right now in the toilet, okay, in his toilet of truth, he's got one big turd, one big steaming turd, and it's him looking bad. However, if he sprinkles in a bunch of lettuce, the corn he ate last week, and all the other stuff, now the well's diluted. We're not just looking at that big, huge, steaming hunk of turd that is this cop. And that's what he's trying to do. He's just trying to muddy the waters and give all these facts that don't fucking matter. It's sleight of hand. It's like this, basically, right? So it's like, yeah, on this hand, I strip searched this guy on Main Street and went up his booty. But look over here. There was a U-Haul truck, and I know a guy that ate bacon once. It's sleight of hand, and it only works for cops in their mind because it's called cop fucking logic. They think they're smarter than the rest of us, and they never are, not even once.
Which, as you know, are large vehicles. I don't know how she could have seen past those. And again, I moved him around the corner of the vehicle we were at to preclude her from seeing. So I don't know how she could have. I don't know how she could have seen it. I tried to give him some privacy in doing what we were doing. I don't know how she could have seen it.
All right. Is there any information that is pertinent to this allegation that I have not asked you?
I don't believe so.
Is there anything that you said that you would like to change or clarify on the record before we conclude?
No.
Is everything that you have told me today and in this statement the truth?
Yes.
This interview is concluded at 1:27 p.m.
Some of the court documents in a lawsuit that Mr. Reed filed found that Mr. Reed spent approximately 13 days in jail for this, had about 18 court appearances, and the city of Jacksonville had to pay $275,000. On top of that, officers involved received written reprimands that stay in their file for a period of time, which stops promotions and other things. But again, what does a person like Mr. Reed go through after being exposed in public like that? And I'm not saying that he was not involved in any type of criminal activity. I don't know. But I know that nothing was found on him at the time of the incident. There were no charges filed against him. He was released from jail, and that was the aftermath of this case. If there's a big lesson here, is this reasonable? And under the circumstances, it was found that it was a violation of policy and unreasonable and did not go according to what that police department expectation is of their officers.
What do you think about this new open carry law? Heard about that? Like it? That's what I'm talking about.
So that's where we're at. Hold on. This is where we're at, everybody. And it's all over the nation. So what do we do? How do we fix it? How do we make this a better place to live? We can't. What can we do? We really can't do anything. We can keep plugging these types of videos. We can keep talking about the problem. We can keep, but pretty words aren't going to solve this. Like, oh, the government of the people, for the people, by the people. It's pretty fucking words and nothing else. We're in a place where if the government doesn't agree with you, they either kill you or shove their fist up your ass. And I'm not being like, and some of you guys are going to be like, Josh, you're being so crass. What's worse? Me saying they shoved a fist up his ass, or the cops on Main Street with children watching skin gloving this dude because they thought he might have had drugs that he sold, but they weren't sure. And if he had money, he put it in his butt. Hold on a sec. Oh, look at my baby. She's not getting updates of the baby while I'm doing this. This is such it's fucking incredibly stupid that I'm talking to 500 people about how it's bad to put something up someone's butt. I guess it. Oh. I can't find my wallet. Hold on one sec, guys. I can't find my wallet. Hopefully my wife has it. Hold on. Let me turn this up.
Hello.
Hey, I can't find my wallet, and I gotta put this money away in my wallet.
Okay.
You can't find it either?
No, I lost it.
That's okay. I got a worthy substitute. Just I need you to grab a mag light, a pack of latex-free gloves, and some Funyuns. The flashlight and the gloves are for you to help me with my new wallet. The Funyuns, that's just because I'm hungry.
Okay, I love you, babe, but I'm not into it. I'm not into that.
But it's my skin wallet.
I'm not into it.
Oh,
no, thank you.
But the cops are into it.
Yeah, there's a reason why I didn't marry a cop.
Well, you would have had a lot more fun stories. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Well, at least I know I got a new wallet. All right, let's read some super chats. You guys are the best. Someone said, bro needs a hair transplant. Chris, I'd rather have no hair and be me than have all that hair and be fucking you. Like, does that drive you fucking crazy? That I'm a household successful name that's taking down government, and like you're like, look at his hair, yeah, hair transplant. Bro, go visit this cop. You'll need an asshole transplant. All right, let's read some super chats. I love you guys. Let me give some shout outs if anyone sent me PayPals or Cash App. You can now. It's pinned to the top of the chat. And just know, bro, that I'm better than you. And I told Freeman about that. Just know sometimes you're better than them. Kim, thank you, Kim, very much. Sent a Cash App, a catch up. She says, and it's for eat that pizza. Okay, is that a Shiba? Oh my God, that's a Shiba Inu. Kim, that's a Shiba Inu. I love Shiba Inus. I got one. Okay, let's check the PAL. Ooh, we get something from the PAL. On the PAL, let's see who sent what. Is this guy still crying in the chat about how I'm funnier and better than him? Scott S., my man, praying for you, Anna, and your children. Love you, bro. That's my boy. Love you too, man. Yeah, see, they run. That dude talks some shit in the chat, and now he's gone. Because I eat pieces like shit for you for breakfast. You eat pieces of shit? Ew. Darren. I'm still talking. Is that making you upset? Just know, Darren, there's a video in the background. And I'm just going to sit here and talk. And by the time I'm done, I'm not even going to play that fucking video, Darren. You'll learn. Anyways, I'm not going to play that video, but I just kept it up there in case Darren came back because I'm smarter than them. Okay, super chats. Time and execution, $4.99. Really getting sick of collecting the tabs for their F-ups. When can we dig in their pockets to pay for ours? Time and execution, let me tell you this. When's the last time you went to a casino, you pulled a slot machine and you won $500 and you lost? And the government said, I feel bad for you, man. You lost like $500. Here's $100. Why are they going to give you money? Because you went and gambled. But when you win money, they want 40% of it. You know what I tell the casinos? How much money you got in your pocket? Well, I made some tips today. I got like, $200. Let me get that. Let me get half. No. It's ridiculous that I should want half of your money for no fucking reason. Yeah, then don't ask me to give half of mine to the fucking government. And that's where we're at, man. Made in America, $9.99 says AFA. What's up? Thank you so much for being here. Sevenfold. In other news, cops continue to investigate themselves and find no wrongdoing. I feel like that's the news hour on Saturday Night Live. In other news, cops continue to investigate themselves. They find nothing wrong. Kim Gibson became a YouTube member. Kim Gibson, thank you for being here. We appreciate it. Guys, if anyone else has any other messages they want to send, we still have super chats going on the top. And we can also put in Cash App, PayPal, whatever. No problem. I appreciate every single one of you being here. Shout out to the channel. Let's not... his name is Sergeant Curtis.
September 9th, 2020.
Is his name. That cop wound up having to... And it says... I didn't like how he titled the video. It says, police officer's legal search lands him a $275,000 fine. That is not true. That cop did not pay a red fucking cent. It landed us a $275,000 fine. Stay vigilant, stay on top of it until next time. That's the reason I stopped you today. And for all of you out there that have something to say but think to themselves, I don't know how that'll be received. I don't think I want to say that. Some good fucking people are losing their lives. They're losing their freedom. They're losing their free speech. Stand up and say whatever the fuck you want. Until things change even more drastically and the supreme leader is running this country, Kim Jong-un is in charge of the government, this is still America. And that's the fucking reason I stopped you today.